Hey guys, I'm going to show you that you can actually use a 64GB. I just upgraded this my 3DS again. As you can see, this used to be in this piece of crap camera. I can't. This camera I tried taking videos a couple of times. It does 1080p. Yeah, great. But the problem is, I take a 5-minute video and the freaking battery dies. It's from a full charge as well. And why can't this camera do that? Well, the old camera I'm using right now can take like an hour-long video without the dying here. And this is a pretty old battery I have in there too. Probably one of these Sony's over here. And this thing here, we have an SD card, which is actually an adapter. It actually does take micro SD cards. Micro SD cards are ridiculously small. This is a SanDisk Ultra Micro SDXC 64GB card. Yeah, it sure does look different because that's just because of the finishing touches on here. Jack the Bomb says the pin layouts are pretty similar. A little different here. They have a couple of the bigger ones and the other ones are smaller. And this thing here used to be in my 3DS, which before I was upgrading it twice here. This used to be a 2GB here, so I kind of did a swap it with this camera. You can still take a couple of pictures though. This one takes high quality pictures, but the video, but the thing is, you take a 10-minute video and the battery dies. And this is what I'm swapping. And Nintendo says you can take a. Nintendo says it just says compatible with the 32GB card, which I'm going to prove them wrong. You can put a 64GB SD card, or you can do that with a micro SD card with an adapter. The only thing is that you have to format it using FAT32. Although you can't do it, there's plenty of third-party software that you can freely download over the web that you can do with FAT32 in here. And the thing is that this only supports FAT32. I think hopefully Nintendo can do this with a software update that will support exFAT formatted SD cards. But I don't think they can do that yet because many games are doing over to here. Putting the thing in my 3DS, and I'm going to show you that you can prove it will work. Power this. Let's power up. It takes a little while for this thing to power up. I can't believe Sony is still charging $80 bucks for a 32GB card. And as a matter of fact, they do sell 64GB cards, but here's the thing. Some sellers will start charging these cards for $200, which I don't know who would spend that much, but 80 bucks for 32GB cards, it's just whoever comes up with these prices here. There's it over here. I'm going to show you the blocks that it contains here. Look at the amount of blocks. 420,000 blocks of space here. And again, Power of Illusion, Mickey Mouse, which is 2,229 blocks, 4,000 blocks here. And with a 64GB card, you can store a ridiculous amount of games on this thing here. And all these games that I have here. And this thing can store like between 50 and 1,000 retail. I'm not talking these small games that you can download on the PSN. I'm talking like retail games of a digital version. You can store ridiculous amounts of those here. And the final rant is that Sony. I think what Sony should do at this point is that they really need to either drop the price of the cards or just go with SD cards. some people are telling us, well, they have a higher performance here, and they have like a special, oh, something like that. The reality is that these cards are slow as stuff here. I reorganized this. A little rant about this. These directories here. I don't know why you have to go to this folder here. Certainly there is enough space that if you zoom in here to store at least like the first 5 or 6 letters instead of the first 1 letter here. These R means they're retail games, which are 7 of them so far. These are 3DS, and I have 3DSware games, which are like, these are 3DSware games, or the DSiWare games. NES games, GBA Super NES, and applications. I stored these. I don't know why they're flooding them here with these applications, but you can actually store them here. I don't know, and another thing, Rand, is why do you have to have a Nintendo ID account to access YouTube? This should be, you know, you shouldn't have a Nintendo account to access YouTube. This is not as bad as Microsoft's requirement. Before, you had to have a gold requirement. Thank goodness that Microsoft finally ripped down the wall here. As I said, my praise to Microsoft for doing that here. And plus, you can have music. Well, that blah 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 Hulu Plus here, and I just basically put them into one accessory of apps directly here. But as you can see, Nintendo needs. I would love to have a firmware update that would allow us to do the 3 wares, do the 3 wares here. I haven't touched the Vita yet, because of these stupid expensive memory cards. Is the reason why, which is the expensive cards is the reason why my Vita, I haven't touched it in a while, and the Vita was just, yeah. I would love for Sony to come up with a PlayStation Vita that has a external drive here. But yeah, you can use 64GB SDXC cards. All you have to do is format it as FAT32, and you can actually transport your save. So this is where Nintendo got it right. You can back up your games easily for your PC. You just have to copy the 3DS directory towards your desktop, and then format it. And then put it onto your new card. Make sure you format it as FAT32 before you put it in here. This is where Nintendo got it right, and I think that Sony, it's really time for you either drop the price of your cards or just get rid of them. All right, start using SD cards of your Vita. Well, anyway, this is Bob Wrench video, home with the thing here. Yeah, I think my last thing about the Vita is that it's like, it's like, you know, I don't want, it's like I'm not a bragger here, because yeah, I've owned a Vita. I've probably made some videos about this before. But the really thing is that, you know, your memory cards are just expensive, and I say it's just you know, baffling of why people would still spend like $150 on a 64GB card. But this is one of the things that Sony needs to do on the next generation. And they need to get their act together and realize that the people who own a 3DS here are being spoiled by something like being like in the fact that you can get an SD card. I pay like like $50 for this here, which holds 64 gigabytes, and don't tell me that, hey, it's a small size here. I've spent 50 bucks, 50 or $60 on this one, and this is how, I mean, this is how much a 64 gigabyte should be. I'd probably a maximum $60 or $70, but I really do wish that Sony would get their head out of their backs and just release the price point of the memory cards should be as follows. A 16 gigabyte should cost $20. A 32 gigabyte should cost $35, and a 64 gigabyte should cost you $50 to $60. I had a lot of people here on the forums that are saying that, hey, they have a really unique performance. Well, how is the performance is great while the Vita is slow? It's just beyond me. You watched John's video before, and I have to say that he done a comparison between this and this micro SD card here. It's very similar in size, and it's really biting them right now. And I'm just, you know, just disappointed in how the Vita turned out. I mean, it's like I purchased like 3 or 4 games. Probably play the most at launch day. Probably the last game I purchased was Little Big Planet Vita, and it's just basically just. My last chance of the Vita is that Sony has failed to recognize the prices that are holding back the systems, and for Sony to nowadays cutting off these retail releases at stores, so we have to purchase these Vitas. It's ending up the cards, and you know, if it's disappointing that way, I think it's perhaps the time to announce this E3. Look, I mean, we need to have a new price point of these cards. I mean, 16 gig should cost 20. 16, 32, and 64 should be pretty much today's tier at $20, $35, and $60 for 64 gig tops. $70, maybe $70, but I don't see a reason why. I don't see, you know, the thing is here, why cards are that high. All right, I mean, they're too high. You really have to spend an arm and a leg. You know, believe me, a 64 gigabyte card in my 3DS can hold like 100 games. I'm not talking these lower tiered download content games here. I'm talking full retail games, a digital version of these. You can like store like 60 to 100 of these in a 64 gigabyte card, which costs you like 40 or 50, costs you like $50 for a 64 gigabyte card. And you can do that for like $50. I mean, why can't you do it on the Vita? And I think that really Sony needs to, you know, if they want the Vita to, I want the Vita to succeed, and it's just had a lot of potential. It has a back touch to it and a front touch. It's kind of like you're manipulating or touching the game like this. It gives you the feeling of the touch, but it's just that it's the cards the most that are holding it back. It's a shame that, you know, a system that has a lot of potential, Sony doesn't use it right, and the system winds up dying. And that's what I have to say about it. I just keep making videos. I just keep making videos about their stupid cards that Sony just produces here, and I hope that Sony gets it right. I mean, I've shown the video. I mean, the video is I'm showing is, you know, shows that there's being spoiled. That, I mean, yeah, Nintendo says the 32 because that's because the 32 gigabyte up to 32 gigabyte cards come pre-formatted with FAT32. But you can format it up, but you can do a 64 gigabyte format, 64 gigabyte card. All you have to do is format it as FAT32, and you're all set. And after that, you can just copy your games to your PC. It's actually a simple thing to do. You don't have to download the thing again, and like this. You just copy your games to your PC, put a new card, copy the games to that card, and just go into the 3DS. And that's where Nintendo got it right. I don't know why Sony puts this this unreasonable reasons to go proprietary. Well, I know the Vita's been cracked God knows how many times. I probably didn't even, I don't know, but I didn't even read in the news here because I just don't care about the Vita. Anyway, just a couple of weeks left until E3 comes out. I hope Nintendo starts announcing a track editor for Mario Kart 8. That'd be awesome, and that could potentially take that game off. The game could be taken off where you can actually create your own tracks, Mario Kart, Mario Golf, like this here. Put more emphasis here. Some people are saying that, hey, Nintendo's releasing a new system, but it's not going to be in the US here. My thoughts are just that, yeah, I bought the system 2 years ago. It's like, why do we have to spin the system again? I understand about every 5 to 7 years or so, but, and on the iPad they do score it once a year, but I don't like spending money on every generation of the iPad. I wait for at least every 3 or 4 generations before buying a newer thing from iOS devices here. Microsoft, yes, they're finally getting it. All right, we don't need a lot. I mean, not all people want Kinect. All right. I mean, why do we have to spend another extra $500 because of the Kinect things there? I'm really glad that Microsoft is, you know, taking the unnecessary camera off, because I probably wouldn't be able to do it here. Of course, John got his as a prize, so. And that's basically what's coming in on E3 here. Mario Kart is, of course, coming after this Memorial Day weekend. I hope, well, I don't know why Nintendo, they should have released Mario Kart this upcoming Memorial Day weekend, because this upcoming Friday, so that the kids can have a nice long weekend to enjoy the new stuff here. And that's basically it, because there's no track editor in that one. So and now we'll take the 7th generation review. All right, reviewing us going back to the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and the Wii. They came out in like 2005, 2000, and a year later, the Wii and the Xbox. The Xbox 360 came out in, I believe, 2005, and the PS3 and the Wii came out in 2006, and that started off the new generation here. What I think about this generation, well, yeah, I have to agree that, you know, they just don't get it. And when I look back at the PlayStation, the 5th and 6th generation, I'm right now thinking, like, what went wrong this generation? Like, why are we getting market, I mean, why do we get the same old crap every year and about these companies here? One of the things that went wrong during this generation is too many first-person shooters. It's like, look, I mean, I'm done with Call of Duty, and I think Activision, well, they released Pitfall once for the Wii, which is Pitfall: The Big Adventure, which was actually the Pitfall: The Lost Expedition for the 6th generation consoles here. It's just a lack of platformers, except for Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank here. They just didn't give any inspiration. They tried something new, but at the same time, they did the same old stuff over and over again, and which is the reason why it was awful. DRM was proven that it hurt more the consumers than the pirates. We've seen that with Spore on EA, with the stupid SecROM online passes here. SecROM DRM, excuse me, the online passes, because, yeah, that was another problem. Online passes proven that we hate it. I mean, we hate the ideas that they're restricting us gamers for used price or new prices, because we're not getting any money back, because they're locking away content anyway. And for a publisher side, they were getting greedy. Hey, look, we're going to charge people online pass. We're going to charge people this. We're going to charge people that for DLC that was on the freaking disc. And on top of that, I mean, $60 for a game. Now, I could maybe understand to a point $60 games for a console that came out for maybe about a year or two after new consoles coming out. But $60 for a game, give me a break. Why are people charging $60 for a game back in 2000 and still searching for a PS3 game? I don't understand here. And what I hope to happen in the 7th generation is, I hope to have in the 7th generation is, look, Sony, Microsoft, EA, Activision, I hope that, and what I'm begging for you is start taking inspirations from the games that we love, the games that we want to have. We know, the games like me, I would love to have another Final Fantasy game that takes inspirations from 9, alright? It was awesome. The 9 was the best of the series, and I have to admit that 12 was pretty good as well. 10 is okay, but the Final Fantasy series have lately just turned to shite. No more flashy women, please, alright? No more flashy women and all that stupid bolt art stuff, art style and stuff like that, and like this. I want medieval. I want the prelude tune that we love back. The familiar prelude, the crystals, and that's what I feel Final Fantasy. White mages, black mages. I would love to have those back. That's what I mean. That's, you know, what I think about Final Fantasy. Not Final Fantasy with flashy women and art styles and like this. I want DRM to die. And now I'm not an advocate of. Now, I don't condone piracy, but DRM has proven that it doesn't work. EA proved it, and Nintendo still doesn't get it when it comes to DRM. And I hope for the fact that Nintendo releases an update to the 3DS that loosens the DRM, so I can be able to copy my games to another 3DS that I own. All right, I mean, deactivate systems and activate another one. It's really Nintendo. I mean, and that's why we have so many people cracking your systems, because they're to do what they should be allowed to do in the first place. Of course, I understand people protecting content with people cracking the game and making 1,000 copies, and yeah, I understand that, but I'm also glad that, you know, online passes are dying, and this is but yeah, it is here. This is what I want for the next generation. I would love for them to make variety games. I would love for them to start making platforming games again. I would love to start making open world. I would love to have an open world Mario game where you can create your own levels, and we have internet right now. And speaking of which, we have the FCC. And speaking of which, another rant for the FCC. Yes. we have to, and yes, Alpha Omega Sin has made a reference to the FCC being greedy screw-ups now that want to change things so that, oh, we have to go to YouTube and watch my show. Oh, you have to pay an extra $10. That's just worse than online passes, and it's just discretionary. And I'm not the only one that hates the new rules. I think the services are complaining here. YouTube, Netflix, they are lashing out at the public here, and I hope that FCC takes care of us, and they are supposed to protect. They are supposed to take care of the customers, keep the bills down. Listen, grocery prices are going up, and we don't want to be held back in being able to live a bare life, because, you know, if we get rich people like these that want to be greedy, it kills the economy. It kills, you know, I can't go out to eat. I can't go horseback riding. I can't buy games, and it's bad. And yeah, as a person, I do not believe in I do not believe in people living just struggling just to make ends meet. I want people to go out and eat. I want people to, you know, drive to a park, go horseback riding, go eat out, have ice cream in the summer. But the problem is the greedy people of the CEOs get all the money that the Americans could have used better so that they can to have a great life. But no, we want the people to have poverty wages that, you know, we want to put people in poverty. We want people on welfare, which drains the government of money. Oh yeah, you want to have that? Well, how about I'm gonna ask the government to. We're asking the government for a wage increase. That's what we want. We want a wage increase. We don't want to. And the thing is, we're sick and tired of dealing with EBT cards. And a lot of people are using EBT cards in a legitimate way. It's because the big corporations that are the money. But I would like to see happen is that we get a wage increase. The CEOs and the big rich greedy should get a pay cut and foot the bills and stuff, and to help and to foot these bills, and like this. I do believe, and see, that's what I have to say about the FCC. And on the last note, E3 is coming out June. We're hoping that they can finally we're hoping that finally things can turn around, and like this here. We can hopefully that Microsoft can get into can entice me to get into these games here. Hopefully we'll see a permanent price cut to new games on previous generations to $40 tops as a cap, a $40 cap on the system. And yeah, I mean, they can delay the games, and they focus on the PS4 first, and then focus on PS3 first, and then focus on the PS3. And anyway, this is me, JD, out. And to sum it up here, this is for Sony. Yeah, I have a 3DS I'm using, and I spent $50 on this. I'm using a 64 gig SD card on my 3DS. And I'm not bragging. I'm telling this to Sony. I'm not bragging with these Vita owners. I'm telling this for you, Sony. Fix things right for your Vita. I want it to succeed. And either drop the prices of the cards, or just either one, drop the price of the cards, or two, just kill the cards. All right, kill your overpriced cards and let us use these cards. Anyways, JD out, and I will be hopefully I'll be on one episode of Ultimate Gamer Podcast. I'm trying to work it out. I would love to, and perhaps I'll try to get a new microphone and get software working on my PC. And yeah. And hopefully Memorial Day weekend will have weather like this. And as I say, in Ultimate Gamer podcast style, yeah, platypus.